This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
To review a movie, it kind of is my duty. I doubt this will go smoothly, but happy Bob Shoween.
Is he cheering or complaining, ranting or exclaiming? At least it's entertaining, so happy Bob Shoween.
Shocks.
Fox.
The box. So get the popcorn popping, we'll get this review hopping. You know there's just no stopping, because it's Bob Shoween. Good evening, my friends, and welcome back to Bob Shoween. There are many who would say that nothing gets a woman's blood boiling like an evening at the theater.
Apparently the writer of our next offering missed that the point was to turn the lady on, not piss her off.
Patience, cara mia, patience. Come join us in our private box as we take a look at the Chicago preview of The Addams Family Musical. Our musical begins as our favorite thing draws the curtain and introduces us to the Addamses, led by Nathan Lane and B.B. Newworth. Today begins a new chapter in the Addams family as they celebrate little Wednesday coming of age.
Tonight is special. Wednesday Addams is child, no more. Come, every member of our clan, living, dead, and undecided. Bestow your blessings on our daughter, for tonight we bury the child and raise the womb, as we dance the clandango.
I can't tell what kind of an accent Nathan Lane is going for, but he sounds too much like Uncle Albert from The Nutcracker.
Now I'm a little disappointed.
As Gomez invites his ghostly ancestors, our chorus for the evening, to bear witness to the festivities, it's impossible for me to not think of Max Bialystock singing of better days.
I used to be the king of old Broadway.
Uncle Fester takes it upon himself to play narrator in this story, making me wonder why it was Gomez introducing us to the show's premise instead of him, and he points out that as an adult, Wednesday is starting to have a life of her own.
And now that she's of age, there's only one thing on her mind.
Boys.
Homicide.
No, actually it's boys, as she tells Morticia about her plans with her new boyfriend Lucas, but Morticia invites him and his parents over for dinner despite Wednesday's objections. Later, as she and Pugsley are enjoying some good old-fashioned sibling torture, Wednesday sings about how she's feeling different of late.
I can feel the clear and present dangers when she learns that the vibe has got me falling in a new direction. I think that was good. I think I'd like to get moving. I'm being pulled in a new direction. This feeling I know is impossible, so I'll confide that I've tried, but I can't let it go. It's disgustingly true. Happy dogs with droopy faces, unicorns with dancing mice, sunrise in wide open spaces, Disney World, I'll go there twice. Fireflies and minion lunches, bunches of chrysanthemums, lollipops and pillow fights, and Christmas Eve, sugar plums, sweet quartets and GM pets, and that banana slips, angels watching as I sleep, and Liberace's greatest hits.
So, yeah. This Lucas guy is making her feel all rainbows and unicorns, and it's somehow more disturbing than stringing her little brother up on their childhood rack. Gomez learns of the little interloper taking his baby away from him, but Morticia knows how to soothe his nerves.
But that's life, darling. We're born, our children are torn from us, we live a life of unimaginable suffering, and then we die.
I love it when you talk sexy.
Just promise me no matter what happens, we won't change.
I swear it, my darling. We shall remain as besotted as the night we met.
Our first date, we went to see
Death of a salesman.
I call foul. Everybody knows that they met at Morticia's first funeral.
You were so beautiful, pale and mysterious. No one even looked at the corpse.
Your cousin Balthazar, you were still a suspect.
Do you remember our first date, darling?
Ah, yes. There were laughs. There were jeers.
There was puppy death.
I remember well the day you poisoned me. No one else had cared enough to try.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, baby. I know this is your review. I'm mostly here for moral support and dropping the occasional joke, but I have to say something. I do not like Bebe Neuwirth's singing.
Why? What's the matter with it?
Morticia sounds seductive. She's the ultimate femme fatale. Not a bleeding goat.
Fair point. But I think as long as she's singing opposite Nathan Lane, maybe it works.
I remember well the day you poisoned me. No one else had even cared to try.
Your fair point is growing more and more fair by the moment, cara mia. Yeah, Nathan Lane can ham it up all he wants. That's why you hire the guy. But Morticia needs to be pure sex, and this just isn't it. Bebe Neuwirth is a very talented actress, and she certainly pulls off the look of Morticia to a T. But as has been discussed in other reviews, I would be wise to not bring up right now, when we're talking about musicals, looks and acting only get you so far. Maybe part of the joke is that this kind of singing just does it for Gomez, but since Morticia has always appealed to people on both ends of the normal creepy spectrum, this joke just seems out of place. Speaking of things that are out of place, time to discuss the first big problem with this musical's story.
I just want them to like us.
Why wouldn't they like us?
Because they're, what? Normal.
Wednesday Addams is not supposed to know what normal is. None of the Addams family are supposed to know what normal is. As far as they're concerned, they're the only normal people in a world full of freaks and weirdos. And yet this is where most of the drama in the story is coming from. I mean, my god, how could the writers get this character so wrong? It'd be one thing if Wednesday was worried about her family embarrassing her by showing Lucas's family her baby pictures or something. That's typical of all families. But Wednesday thinks her family is weird? What the hell, man? So Gomez and Morticia promise they'll be on their best behavior, whatever that means. And we meet Lucas and his dry toast parents, Mal and Alice, who, when put together, become Malice. Gomez introduces himself with a little swordplay, followed by Morticia partaking in an entrance that had to have been arranged by Miss Piggy.
And now, making her entrance, Adwena, mother of my children, l'amor di mi vida, the love of my life, Morticia!
That's how I should be introduced in all of your videos.
We'll need to get a staircase first. Wednesday comes downstairs wearing yellow of all colors, which inspires Alice here to show up her penchant for rhyming.
It's a lovely dress, Wednesday. Yellow is my favorite. In fact, I'd say yellow is the color of the warming sun. Yellow is the color of yumminess and fun. Why not show the world the love in which we all believe? Why not wear your heart for all to see right on your sleeve?
What color best represents? Oh my god. Morticia takes Alice on a tour of the house, Gomez takes Mal into the basement for some drinks, and we get another interlude with Uncle Fester, Lord of the Universe.
Let's not talk about anything else but love. Kiss me, darling. Let's not talk about anything else but love.
Hey, Gomez was right. Fester really can have any woman, dead or alive.
You were so dashing, you could have any woman you wanted, dead or alive.
When your love arrives, not let it, or your life is yours to lose. Kazoos!
Yeah. If Uncle Fester is the ruler of all time and space, this is exactly how a musical number would go down. Gomez entertains Mal in a very normal fashion by showing off his collection of torture devices and asking how Alice is in bed.
Tell me, is it good with you and Alice?
Excuse me?
Those special times when the children are asleep and the air is thick with her perfume and you come to her. Is it good?
Can I get an awkward?
Awkward.
And Morticia entertains Alice by asking the same, but it turns out Alice is a bit more open to this particular conversation.
Tell me what you long for in your darkest hours.
Someone wise beyond his years who stirs my soul and holds me tight, who tickles me and teases me and makes me scream out with delight.
God, I'm good.
Look familiar, Karamia?
Oh yeah. I've gotten questionnaires for custom audios like that.
We cut it back to Gomez, which, now that I think about it, is kind of a weird thing to do, what with this being live theater and all, who starts to sing about his nightly waltz with his beloved wife.
My wife and I, we share a ride, our dance of passion every night at 7. A tango in the frosty air, she's to cherry some Fred Astaire at 7.
Raven, how long has it been since we waltzed?
Hours.
The song continues on Morticia and Alice's end, but Alice's marriage isn't exactly worth bragging about.
I have a special gift to say what others only feel. Each word I write a beam of light to tutor and reveal. All done at home alone while Mal is on a business deal. At 7, what's your secret? How do you get your husband to fondle you in front of the guests?
So husbands need to be trained, my dear, like pets, with love and discipline and the occasional cookie.
I'm sorry for harping on Morticia's voice again, but what was that?
And the occasional cookie?
It's supposed to be like, husbands need to be trained, my dear, like pets, with love, discipline, and the occasional cookie. She is not my Morticia.
I love you.
I know.
While Wednesday and Lucas are enjoying their own flirtatious goings-on, Morticia overhears her calling her old. And like with Wednesday's embarrassment of her weird family, this introduces another painfully out-of-character personality trait that infects the entire show. Morticia's fear of aging. As 7 o'clock draws nigh and Gomez is excited for their nightly waltz, Morticia can't get into it because she thinks she's old, and everything that Gomez says to try to convince her otherwise just gets turned on itself.
Am I old?
Not from here. Cara, of all women, the zenith. Each day I wait for your sweet caress, your smile, innocent yet wise, that maddening aroma of mildew and patchouli.
Yes, but what do you really see?
My love, my wife, and the mother of our beautiful children. A little man who will change the world, and a daughter so delicious, like a ripe plum. Come, the time is upon us.
Right?
Eh?
You said Wednesday was ripe.
Yes.
A ripe, fertile, young plum?
Yes.
Which makes me want a prune.
Yes.
Oh.
No, you also are a plum.
A wrinkled prune, a breakfast food, a laxative.
Oh.
I know I shouldn't be referencing the movies again since this musical is trying to be its own thing, but what did Morticia say to Gomez while they were sitting in the graveyard?
Someday we'll be buried here, side by side, 6 feet under, in matching coffins, our lifeless bodies rotting together for all eternity.
That doesn't strike me as someone who's afraid of crow's feet. While that's going on, we get a little moment with Pugsley, who sings about how he's afraid that he's losing his sister.
What if she never tortures me anymore? How would I manage? What if she never nails my tongue to the bathroom floor? What if she walks away, leaving me A-okay, hiding each power tool? Why would she be so cruel?
Granny waddles by with a cart full of various potions, and one potion in particular grabs Pugsley's attention.
What's this one?
Acrimonium! You want to stay away from this, baby.
Why?
Takes the lid off the id. Brings out the dark side.
What do you mean?
One swig of this, and Mary Poppins turns into Medea.
I don't understand your references.
Well, stop the damn texting and pick up a book once in a while.
Oh my god, I'm old.
Do you need a minute to tell those dang kids to get off your lawn?
Maybe, but first I would have to get a lawn. Pugsley swipes the acrimonium, and then we jump back to later that evening, where the entire family is sitting down to dinner.
Another magnificent feast, all thanks to my ageless lady wife.
Quite the feat, considering Morticia doesn't do the cooking. Wednesday is eager to get Lucas's family out of the house, but Morticia insists that they play a little game called Full Disclosure.
Everyone sips from the sacred family chalice and confesses something they never told anyone.
Loosely based on the Inquisition.
Gomez goes first, taking the opportunity to try to get out of the doghouse.
I had a dream, and in the dream, I was a goat, leaping from crag to crag like we do. Meh, meh. And there before me is a beautiful lady goat, her haunches trembling in the mist. Meh, meh. But just as I am about to embrace her, a crow appears, saying, I will walk on your face! So I said to this crow, silly bird, what do you know of true love? And suddenly, my beautiful lady goat is transformed into a plum. The most luscious of all fruits. And I take a bite and the juice. The juice is so weird. Full disclosure.
So, now I'm a goat?
No, I'm three.
No, I'm a goat with horns and a beard.
Okay, so we lose the goat. No goat. I hate goats.
Well, this is comforting. Proof that even a suave lady killer like Gomez Addams can say something that's supposed to be sweet and romantic, but it just ends up going to crap. The game continues as Fester confesses to being in love with the moon, which is weird and adorable somehow. And then Granny gives us this little confession.
The kid and I had a little heart-to-heart before. I told him to use his time wisely. Look who's talking. How much time have I got left? I'm 102. I have shingles and arthritis and emphysema and glaucoma and diabetes and gout. And when I break wind, it could start the windmills on an old Dutch painting. But I still got one more round in me. 3 words, people. Total body makeover. Legs, hair, boobs, the full enchilada. Call me cougar, but 5 will get you 10. There's a couple Grandma's sandwich!
Sounds yummy.
The game just went from full disclosure to TMI.
I just peed.
And since we all know Gomez wouldn't think Granny's behavior is odd in the slightest, this facepalm is all that Nathan Lane can do to keep from busting up right here and now. Pugsley spikes the chalice with the acrimonium, so that Wednesday will confess to something so awful that Lucas will have to leave her, but Alice grabs it instead, and confesses to how empty her marriage is.
I used to come home and say, I missed you, baby, give Daddy a hug, and then we'd go upstairs, and we wouldn't come down until the 11 o'clock news.
Mom!
It's okay, Lucas, parents do it, live with it. And then he disappeared into his work, and he never came home until after the news. What did you think I was doing all that time, Mal? Alone and waiting and wondering, thrilling and watching, waking and wishing and waiting and wailing and whining and waiting and wanting and wasting and love, waiting, fixating, keep waiting, lose waiting, isolating, lactating, and so we wait to laugh, we wait to cry, we wait for every hopeful breath, waiting for a lousy, rotting, vicious, rancid, flush down, fatigue, frenzy, fatal.
The now mortified Mal tries to gather up his family to go home. Wednesday drops the bomb that she and Lucas are actually getting married, all to Lucas's surprise, of course. But they can't leave because Fester wills a rainstorm into existence. After a little intermission, we find Wednesday and Lucas arguing, outside? What happened to the storm that kept his family from leaving?
Great continuity!
Anyway, Wednesday is chewing him out for not backing her up when she said that they were getting married. Sorry, Wednesday, but weren't you just asking for a little normalcy a few hours ago? However smitten with you Lucas may be, you've only known each other for, what, a week? Suddenly dropping this on him is going to freak him out a little bit. We jump back inside the house to find Gomez and Morticia mulling over the issue themselves. And Lurch is sitting at his harpsichord from the master bedroom? Does he play for Morticia and Gomez while they're Karamiya-ing?
Kinky.
Gomez is more or less okay with this development, but all Morticia sees is another reminder that she is getting older.
You are still the most desirable of all women.
A mother! That's all I am!
Mother, wife, lover.
And I know what happens to mothers. Look at yours. She came for the weekend. The weeks turned into months. It's 12 years later and she's still up there. Unwanted, mocked, tolerated. Smoking weed in the attic. A grandma. Oh, well, I'm not going to end up like your mother.
My mother? I thought she was your mother.
Considering how closely knit this family is, I wouldn't be surprised if she was both of your mothers.
And what's this? Mom.
Leave me, Kara!
Out! I need to commune with my ghosts.
no. Bebe Neuwirth singing again. I know it's a live performance, but is there any way we can get Alice back in here? At least she's not warbling like a bad Katharine Hepburn impression.
Out of the spotlight, off to the side, losing my place as I'm losing my pride. I used to be a star. Now I see how things are. Second banana, that's what I am. One day a missus, next day a man.
No. Sorry, not sorry, but this is just wrong. Morticia is supposed to be oozing with sensuality and confidence. She knows that she's got Gomez wrapped around her little finger, and Gomez is the only man she wants. She was giving marital advice to Alice because she knows how to keep the spark in her own marriage alive. Who does she think she's second banana to? Her daughter? And considering how much of the focus of the musical is already placed on Morticia herself, this ruining of her character is making me dislike the musical as a whole.
I'm dealing with second banana.
Mom, Mommy, I can't sleep.
To my children now.
And now it's bleeding over into her not wanting to pay any kind of attention to her children? Gomez catches Wednesday as she's at a crossroads. I'm not sure if she's trying to elope with Lucas or just running away, and I don't think she's entirely sure either.
I love him. Why doesn't he love me?
You just said you hated him. Which is it?
Both.
Ah, now you've got it. Right and wrong, who's to say which we should refuse? All we know, love survives, either way we choose. Here you are at the edge, go ahead and fall. Don't resist, I insist, love still conquers all. It even conquered you, my little Attila. You're growing up.
And you're cool with that?
Yes. And no. I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling sad, a little childish, a little dad. I think of all the days you've known, all the ways you've grown, see you on your own, and then I'm feeling happy and sad again.
See, if we're opening on the plot point of Wednesday growing up, this is what the musical needed to revolve around. She's grown up, and it affects everyone in the family in this way or that way, showing us how, despite their weirdness, they're still a deeply connected family who will always love each other no matter what. What this musical should not be focusing on is Morticia being afraid of not being the center of attention.
Not only are Gomez and Morticia the quintessential lovers, but they are, in their own weird way, model parents. Gomez is the fun dad that sword fights and explodes trains with his kids. He's a kid at heart and believes in letting his children explore and discover the adventure in life. He should have been singing about being sad that his little girl was growing up and that she didn't need him anymore. Morticia is the ultimate supportive mother. She is involved in every aspect of her children's lives. She's not worried about them not needing her anymore, much less them stealing her spotlight. And she's concerned about Wednesday getting married. That's still her baby. But she recognizes that she's an adult. So Gomez is sad, and then Morticia comes in and sings about how it's okay to be sad and to miss the days when Wednesday was little. However, this is the young woman they raised, and now it's time to release her upon the world like a plague. And Gomez sees her point, and he's happy and proud too.
Now that Wednesday has her emotional bearings again, she tries to patch things up with Lucas. She figures if they're truly meant to be, a friendly little game of William Tell shouldn't hurt anybody.
Here, put this apple on your head.
Why?
We're gonna see how connected we really are. Go stand by that tree.
Are you crazy?
Yes, and that's the problem. I'm crazier than you.
Good grief, these writers didn't understand these characters at all. If Wednesday does consider herself to be crazy, or maybe she just sees herself as ahead of the curve, she shouldn't have a problem with finding someone not as crazy as she is. Remember Joel Glicker, that little Jewish kid from Addams Family Values? Wednesday didn't have any kind of problem with how normal he was, so much so that the issue of normal versus crazy is never even addressed. This was just some guy that she could torment, and that was enough. She was into that. What does she care about Lucas not being crazy? Or if you need to go down this route, you can have Lucas say something like, "Man, Wednesday, you're crazy," after she tells like an off-color joke or something. You know, just something you say to anybody a million times, not thinking about it. But then she gets really offended by that. "Man, Wednesday, you're crazy." What did you say? Did you just call me crazy? You think that I'm crazy?! Anyway, their issues are resolved after Lucas has her shoot at him while blindfolded, which admittedly is appropriately crazy. Then we jump over to Fester as he sings about his love for the moon.
When I feel her pull, and my heart is full, and the night is softly, sweetly calling, Fester, look and see. La 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 la.
Oh man, he's gonna turn into Ernie.
So although I might like it for one afternoon, I don't want to live on the moon.
It's a dream that's coming true when the moon says I love you. It's a dream that's coming true when the moon says I love you.
I'm so confused. We're not supposed to have cute, sweet moments with Uncle Fester.
Oh, come on, that worked for his character.
I know it did. I just don't know how or why. We later find Gomez trying to console Mal in his moment of need.
It brings to mind my great-great Uncle Julio from the old country who married his horse. Strange to say a man marries his horse. And yet they were very happy together. She cooked for him, cleaned, ironed his pantalones. On Sundays, he rode her to church. And of an evening, they would share a bucket of sangria. Yes, there were issues. But they made it work. In fact, in 1910, Uncle Julio's wife won the Preakness.
Addams, I gotta tell you, I didn't think it could get any stranger, and yet here we are.
No! Don't jinx it! Again, this is normal to these people. You want weird? Wait till they actually start digging for weird. Mal is still dead against his son marrying Wednesday, but Gomez is determined to change his tune.
Love is a dismal thing. Wow! Why should we fight? Let's sing. And you know, the only thing better than singing.
What?
Singing and dancing.
This isn't Gomez talking. This is just how Nathan Lane solves all of his problems. Despite the combined efforts of Gomez and Fester, Mal maintains his position of how love's just a bunch of nonsense. Until their pet squid Bernice gets her tentacles on him. And now he feels the same joy that Tech Sergeant Chen feels every day.
Hey, Fred. Oh, that's not right.
Now that Mal is, occupied, Gomez tries to help out Alice by giving her a little tango lesson.
Angels and ministers of hell, defend me!
Darling, you're up!
Caught red-handed! In tango flagrante.
Oh, please. If Morticia sees Gomez tangoing with another woman, she'd jump right in there and join in on what can only be Gomez offering her a few pointers. That's all it could be, since she knows that Gomez is hers and hers alone. You know that scene from Dirty Dancing?
I look at you and I fantasize. You're mine tonight.
See? Just like that.
And then Morticia whips out one of Gomez's fencing foils. Ugh. Morticia has fenced with Gomez on occasion, but it was always just another weird way that they expressed their love for each other. If Gomez had done something so terrible that Morticia would pick up a sword in anger, he'd fall to his knees and demand that she be quick because he doesn't even deserve the pleasure of a slow, painful death. This is all wrong! They finally put their swords down and resolve their issues with a little tango, like they should have done from the start. Alice and Mal are then reunited after he escapes the loving embrace of Bernice, and he's a changed man.
In the arms of a squid, I touched my secret longing, all embraced, as I faced a world both warm and new. In the arms of a squid, I lost my inhibitions and found my love for you.
Wednesday and Lucas show up and confess their true feelings for each other, and Morticia is happy to give them her blessing.
May there come a night for you both when you learn to love each other's flaws as passionately as you love the easy things. You're truly lucky this will happen for you, as it happened tonight for me. Full disclosure.
Tish, do the French.
Je t'aime encore, mon petit Robinet. Je t'aime toujours.
Ew, she made French sound unsexy.
And I was just starting to like her as a dancer.
The resolutions continue as Wednesday reaffirms that she'll still be there to torture little Pugsley, until he gets a girlfriend of his own, of course. Fester flies off to be with his love, and they all live unhappily ever after.
Are you unhappy, my darling?
Oh, yes. Yes, completely.
Just shut up and dance.
So that was the Addams Family musical. It's got a lot going for it, but unfortunately it is rife with problems. The music is catchy, the dance numbers well choreographed, the actors are all at the top of their game, the inclusion of the Addams' ancestors acting as the chorus was clever, the set design was great, but these elements are bogged down by terrible mischaracterization. Wednesday looks like she wants to be normal, Morticia's all about me, and 2 out of 6 Addams' being badly written shouldn't be that big of a problem, but when a good 70 to 80% of the show is focused on those 2 Addams', it starts to pile up. Luckily, the play has gone over some revisions since this preview. Morticia loses her fear of aging, she's no longer desperately trying to hog the spotlight, The conflict between her and Gomez comes not from her own insecurity, but instead from how Wednesday and Lucas were planning on getting married from the beginning, and Wednesday swore Gomez to secrecy, and Gomez and Morticia keep their swordplay strictly in the bedroom. But then it also lost the love scene with Mal and Bernice, so even with these modifications, it's still not a perfect show. Now that we're finished here, shall we make beautiful music together, cara mia?
Oh, not until 7, mon cher. But I've invited the neighbor for tango lessons.
New neighbor? What's her name?
I believe she said her name was Lily Munster.
See you later.
When you're in Addams, you need to have a little moonlight. When you're in Addams, you need to feel a little chill. You have to see the world in shades of grey. You have to put some poison in your day.
That's the way.
When you're in Addams, you need to have a sense of humor. When you're in Addams,
you need to have a taste for death.
Who cares about the world outside and what it wants from you? When you're in Addams, you do what Addams always do. Mi amor,
will you love me forever and ever?
We shall remain as besotted with each other as the night we met.
Our first date, you took me to see
Death of a Salesman.
How we laughed. And on my birthday, you brought me
Anthrax.
Even then, you knew my heart.
When you're in Addams, you need to grab a bow and arrow. When you're in Addams, you need a moment to explode. Just pour a potion.
Flip the switch.
And wait till things get hot. When you're in Addams, you have to really stir the pot.
And on this special night, we summon our beloved ancestors to join us for this celebration. And you know what that means.
When you're in Addams, when you are in any special duty, when you're in Addams, you're obligated to the crowd. It's family first and family last, and family by and by. When you're in Addams, the shenanigans is gonna apply. When you're in Addams, you do what Addams do, or
But as has been discussed in other reviews, I would be wise to not bring up right now, when we're talking about musicals, looks and acting only get you so far. Maybe part of the... Call back! Come on! I love you.
Shut up and dance.